so good. Oh, Cali, baby, what makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Nice looking Friday morning. A little bit cold. Let's see. I think last time I looked at the temperature, I'll tell you what it was. It was 49 degrees, so maybe 50 by now. Kelli Hart is in the studio to talk to us about what's going on over at Ocala Magazine. We call the segment Ocala Magazine Radio. Good morning, Kelli. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday.
It is Happy Friday. It's February.
It is February.
We're officially in the year. Now, you got the first one under your belt. We're ready to move on.
Yes. It is also National Wear Red Day for the American Heart Association.
Today is?
So I have my little bit of red on. Yes.
I sort of have red on.
You sort of have red on. That counts. Yeah. So I guess to really generate awareness for the American Heart Association, today is the official day of Wear Red. So if you're still at home getting dressed, keep that in mind and throw some red on.
1 week from tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
I know.
Yeah?
I know.
Well, you shouldn't fret. You're a lady. Ladies, that's the day we cater to you.
Well, I guess so. I mean, when you're a single lady, it's a little bit different, though. I don't think
then you get a lot more.
Well,
all the guys who are interested.
I guess so. I guess we'll find out in a week. All of
it's
my
like when you're a
suitors.
little kid in school. All the boys send you those little paper hearts. Remember?
Yes. I remember. I mean, I thought being a kid at Valentine's Day was way, way different because it was, to me, the fun was getting the little Valentines from your friends that had the candy attached and the little hearts with the messages. And then you get older and you're like, candy's not quite as fun as maybe some of the other things that you could get for Valentine's Day.
Like what?
Well, like a nice dinner or maybe jewelry or something a little nicer. But
So with the shameless plug for whoever you want to give a shameless plug for, is there one restaurant that you think is the most romantic place to go for a meal?
Oh gosh, most romantic place to go. Well, maybe somewhere like La Cuisine.
See, that came up also.
So I think that's a really romantic. The ambiance is really nice, and it's downtown. So after you're done, you can always walk around and hold hands. Or
that's true.
Whatever people do on Valentine's Day. I don't know.
I thought
I'm gonna watch a horror movie and.
What kind of movie?
A horror movie. I'm gonna do the anti-Valentine's Day thing or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I'm not a florist anymore, I can do whatever I want on Valentine's Day. That's the beauty of it. Because for many years, my Valentine's Day was spent arranging flowers and getting them delivered into the wee hours of the night so that other women could have flowers on Valentine's Day. So I'm finally free from that resposibility.
That's true.
So I can enjoy Valentine's Day as I so choose. So it's kind of exciting.
Is it more of a challenge or less of a challenge being that it's on Saturday? Because if it's a weekday, a guy can get up, go to work and say, oh, gee, now I remembered.
Oh, yeah. Well, for guys that forget, it's definitely more challenging. But I know when it fell on a weekday as a florist and you're trying to deliver to their job, and then maybe for some reason it didn't get there on time, and then now you've got to rush around and figure out where they are now. And so so it's going to be easier, I think, for businesses that it's on a Saturday. So, but it's funny, the whole concept of Valentine's Day and dating. Today on Ocala Magazine Radio, I want to talk about one of the stories in our new February issue, which, by the way, is just absolutely gorgeous.
Somebody's boots.
Yes, somebody's boots.
Oh, hits.
Yes, this is our hits issue. We're the official city magazine of hits. So inside there's a lot of great information about all of the events and goings-ons over at hits. So we encourage everybody to flip through there and read up and pick some dates and take your family out to see, if not all, at least one of the events. I was there last year. In fact, did the live remote last year from out there. Right. And I had not been, admittedly, and I was really impressed with the way things were set up and all the beautiful horses. And
so when is it this year?
The vendors. Well, it's already started.
Oh, it's happening right now?
So it's happening right now.
And this is the same land where the golf tournament was?
Yes. Yes.
Golden Ocala?
Well, near Golden Ocala.
Okay.
It's out kind of behind Golden Ocala. But there is on page 21 of Ocala Magazine, there is a show schedule. So it has everything listed. It runs all the way up until March 23rd. So there's plenty of time to go out and enjoy it. So definitely check that out if you've not seen it. We're also online. You can go to ocalamagazine.com and the digital issue is there. You can flip through and read all of this stuff. And there's also a really fun feature that I had the pleasure of writing called and you'll appreciate this. It's called, the headline is, "I had 300 men in my bed." And it's an online,
it's a nightmare you had?
It's an online dating story.
That'd be a nightmare for me.
It would be a nightmare for anybody, and that's just far too many people. So I wanted to give a shot at writing something with humor, because that's in my day-to-day life. I like humor, and it's probably one of my very favorite things, but I've never really written with humor, so I thought I would give it a try. And there's really nothing more funny, at least in my own life, than the experiences with being single and online dating, and it can be a nightmare. So I kind of opened up and I wrote a story about my personal experiences with online dating. And in fact, I posted this morning on Facebook that if anybody has a nightmare that they are willing to share, they can call into the station.
So tell me one. I want to hear one. What happened?
Okay. Well, for example, I went on a date with a gentleman, and the date itself was pretty fun. It was.
Now, this is an actual date, not a virtual date.
Right. This is an actual date, but someone that I had met online.
Okay.
And so we went on a date. The date was really fun. He was a really nice, fun guy.
What did you use? I mean, was it what do you call it? What's that thing called? We reject.
Oh, that's Tinder.
Tinder.
Oh my gosh!
Did
Don't
you
even
use
get me
that?
started on Tinder. No, I met him on Match.com, and this was right. I was newly single, so I probably was being a little premature about trying to get back in the dating game, which I think a lot of people do after a divorce or breakup. They want to kind of rebound, and the idea of being single is so scary, so they just immediately want to get into a relationship.
Right.
And before they're ready, and then they realize they're not ready, and they give themselves some time, and then kind of phase 2 of dating begins. And I was in phase 1 of dating, kind of impulsively just wanting to meet somebody, and I met this guy online, and he was really very nice, and the date itself was very nice.
Yeah.
And up until he started drinking and drinking and drinking, and then shots and shots. And at the end of the night,
wow.
he ended up being so plastered that he was stumbling everywhere. And at one point, kind of started falling in my direction, and I went to try and catch him, which
No way.
I'm a lady, like smaller, much smaller. And he fell on me, and we both toppled over, and it broke my tailbone.
You're kidding.
No.
When did this happen?
Oh gosh, it was right when I first.
Did I know you broke your tailbone?
Yes. No, I don't
did
think
you ever tell
so.
us? I mean, not that I would know, but I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, there was a couple situations.
Did anything happen to him?
No, nothing ever happens to the drunk, sloppy person. They always end up walking away like without a scratch, But so I had this broken tailbone, and so for a while I was having to sit kind of, on one cheek or be, it was really actually a painful experience. But true. And there's a couple other things that
Did you go out with him again?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
He must have been a good-looking guy.
I did. He was really good-looking.
So why does that?
He was really apologetic about the situation. However, date 2 proved to be going in the same direction, and then that was it.
So he was a drunk.
It was over. Yes.
Did you write him off as this is just a drunk?
I did. I wrote him off as not necessarily maybe a drunk, but it drinks way too much for me. I'm not a big drinker, so. That kind of stuff, and plus when you're a single mom, you have a child to think about. That becomes a top factor in your choosing. So you think,
fun topic though.
A lot, and it's a very fun topic.
You got to thank him for that.
Oh, the material. I mean, the material is great. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite things that I was able to write because it is so funny.
Well, let me tell you something. Robin and I talk to a lot of authors, and the ones who are really good writers but have quirky titles get really good sales. So that's a great title, 300 Men in My Bed. You got to make that into a book.
Well, I'm glad that you agree that is a good headline, because I actually, when I first presented it to Linda, her jaw kind of dropped and she thought, whoa, I don't know, that could be a little too risque and controversial. So like any good businesswoman, she took the headline and asked around to get feedback to see how people would react to it, because obviously we don't want to put anything that is going to be offensive, although we understand there are those people that would be offended by anything.
Well,
so we can't completely discount all of our creative ideas because of that small percentage. But she got really good feedback, like you. People thought it was interesting, and if they saw it, they thought, "Oh,
it'll make you want to read it. I have to
read this. What is this?"
Exactly right.
And so it was a lot of fun to write. And online dating, if you've never done online dating, you just, I don't think you really understand that it is a totally different
So can I ask you a question? I got a question for you, since this is the topic. Okay. So I saw this ad for Tinder, okay? And I said, well, what is Tinder? I didn't even know what it was. So I clicked on this video, and now the video shows a woman, and she's at her cubicle in her office, and she gets a text message from one of her friends. It says, welcome back. How was your vacation? So she sits back in her chair, and she's thinking, she's remembering her vacation. So now the viewer, me, sees her vacation, and she's got this app on her little thing, and she's rejecting guys and accepting guys, and she's in Paris and she's with a guy, and she's in London and she's with a guy, and every microsecond of a frame you see her between the sheets, so you know that there's sex involved. So I was saying to myself, this is a man's dream, this isn't a woman's dream. The whole world has changed, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, it has.
Really?
Yes, it absolutely has.
But I mean, that is what a Playboy would do. So now we have Playgirls and Playboys.
I think women have definitely bridged the gap and have caught up with some of the typical male behaviors. And I know we need to take a break, so when we come back, I'll tell you about some of the different sites that I joined in an effort to get material for this story. And it's very funny.
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
And you got the phones ringing, too. So we'll take the calls when we come back as well.
Wonderful.
We'll be right back. This is WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A nice day today, mostly sunny skies and breezy. Maybe a shower along the coast for a time, the high 63 to 67. And partly cloudy tonight, lows ranging from 38 in a few inland spots to about 50 along the coast. Tomorrow, more sun and clouds and milder in the afternoon, the high 67 to 71. On Sunday, a pleasant day with plenty of sunshine, the high 71 to 75. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You do your best to protect your loved ones, and while you may keep a fresh battery in your smoke detector and have a reliable home security system, there's a whole different type of protection you may be missing. A life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance is a way to safeguard your loved ones now and in the future. Meet with your local independent agent and secure a policy today to protect them tomorrow. Visit George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today at manganinsurance.com.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
If you woke up feeling bloated, load up on water-rich fruits and veggies. Reminiscing about your first encounter, talking about it, creates the same changes in brain chemistry in both of you, which means it'll feel like you're falling in love all over again. If you experience breakouts and you normally drink fat-free milk, consider switching to 1% milk or dairy alternatives that contain fewer than 10 grams of sugar per serving.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Real estate is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Call 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
19 minutes after 10 o'clock, Kelli Hart is in the studio. You're listening to WOCA, and this segment is called Ocala Magazine Radio because Kelli is with Ocala Magazine, and we're talking about an article you wrote called 300 Men in the Bed.
Yes, I had 300 men in my bed. Yes.
All right. So you're talking about, what do you call it? Computer dating.
So it's a feature about online dating. It is written by me. It is a true account of exactly what my experience with online dating is all about.
Did you have any good ones? That one was not a good one, but did you have any good ones?
Well, not good enough that I'm not still single, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm really super picky. I mean, and I have no apologies for that. I'm being extremely,
oh my goodness,
extremely, very, very picky.
You're the man in your life you call daddy. He wants you to be picky.
Yes, he does. He wanted me to be picky a long time ago, and a second time around, I'm finally listening. So, yeah, I mean, I've listened. There's some great guys that I've met, and no, I guess complete total disasters other than things that are funny enough to write about, but sometimes.
So if you're going to use the computer to screen potential dates, to me it's probably you're cutting to the chase a little bit, because if you just meet somebody at a function, the church, or I don't like to even name bars because I know it's the worst place in the world to meet somebody. But if you meet somebody at a social function or something like that, you know nothing. All you have is the physical to base your anything on, right?
Right.
Then you get to know, do they like to drink? Do they like to read? Do they like movies? What do they like, right? Well, at least with the computer, you can get all that stuff out of the way right at the beginning, right?
Well, I think that's the way that online dating is set up. It gives you an opportunity to be really transparent and say, these are the things I like, whether they're weird or not. Some other weird person will see my weird things and will weirdly fall in love. The problem is you're depending on people to be very transparent and honest, and that's not always the case. And that's the part that's tricky, is because so many people, I mean, if I'm sitting at a computer, I can tell you that I'm a model. I can tell you I'm 6'2". I can tell you I can tell you anything that I want, and you're not going to know the difference. And, so I think that people can be a little bit more misleading than if you meet someone naturally. And by naturally, maybe it's somebody that you meet through your job or through school, and then you kind of get to know them over time, and the attraction builds, and it's kind of a natural progression. And online dating really
I see what you're saying,
changes that.
But I think in person meeting can be just as filled with lies as
oh well. Listen, yes. Yes. I know lies, and yes, I can tell you.
Have you ever had a guy tell you that he had this amazing job and it wasn't true at all? Like he told you he was an astronaut. Have you ever had that?
I've never had anyone lie about their profession.
No?
No. Mm-mm. No. And most of the guys that I've met have had really interesting type careers. To me, that's important. Sure? I do my investigations as well. So that's the good news about being online. You can online date. You can also online vet people and figure out if they're really lying or not. Unfortunately, you can't find out if they're an alcoholic until you put them in the middle of a bar and watch them go. So, you can get a lot of information, but I don't think you really genuinely know the person until, of course, you meet. And like I said, I met some great guys. There was one guy in particular that I went on a date with and thought he was a really great guy. He's a really great guy. Unfortunately, our religious beliefs were extremely varied. So where I'm
varied, you mean different from each other?
Way different.
He was an atheist. What was he?
Yeah, he's a scientist, and so his beliefs are all based on science. So evolution and Big Bang and these types of things, and that's not my belief of creation. And so not that I would hold anybody's religious views against them, nor would I want anyone to do that to me.
Somebody as a life partner.
Exactly. And the way I want to raise my daughter would become an issue. So I had to just kind of explain to him, you're a great guy, super nice, wonderful, but this is like one of my top 3, if not number one thing as far as meeting somebody and having that type of religious connection with them. So, he understood, and it was no big thing. And it was funny. He actually sent me a message on Facebook yesterday or the day before because he read the story and which I was kind of worried about that. He's an entomology student.
Did you refer to him?
Yes. And I talked about the fact that when we went on our date and had pizza, he was explaining to me like the dung beetles and things of this nature, and which is that's his job and that's his passion.
Dung beetles and pizza.
But it was just
I don't
funny.
Get the connection.
Exactly. Okay. And over pizza, that might not be the time to really talk about dung or beetles or either. So I wrote it into the story because it was comical, and of course he reached out on Facebook and was like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was that bad. And I was like, listen, don't take this personal. I'm a writer. This is comical. It's a comical spin on the truth.
Right.
So, I don't want anybody to take anything.
Did you consider not even responding to him?
No. That would have been mean. I didn't want him to leave him hanging and think that, I had a terrible date. I really didn't. It was just good material.
Are all the online services similar, the same?
For the most part,
do you have any you would say to stay away from?
I would say to stay away from Tinder. Absolutely.
Stay away from Tinder.
Yes. And I appreciate the theory behind it because I am one of those people that do believe in physical attraction being super important.
Right.
I know, beauty's on the inside and looks aren't everything. I get all that. Okay. And that is true. But if you don't have some kind of initial physical attraction, that could lead to some problems in other areas that are super important in relationships. So I understand that they wanted to kind of cut out all the BS and just get right to the chase. Is this person attractive to me? Swipe yes or swipe no.
Right.
And then if you are a match, if this person sees you and they think, oh, she's cute, and they say yes to you, and it's a match, then you're able to start communicating. So I appreciate the fact that they kind of want to just cut to the chase and say, you're cute. We think, at least we agree that we think each other's cute. However, it has a really bad reputation for just being a hookup type site, so that wherever you are, if I travel to Atlanta, say on vacation.
Which is what this little video made me think it was.
And that's what it does. It gives you, when you pull up Tinder, wherever you are, it finds people based on your location.
I can relate to as a guy.
So you can hook up everywhere you go, and I think that's really repulsive. But then again,
This lady seemed to like it. She had a good vacation.
And there are people they said Tinder was, it was like overloaded, and it was having issues at the Super Bowl because so many people traveled to Arizona for the Super Bowl and were on Tinder wanting to hook up for the weekend, that it was actually, the site was crashing. It wasn't able to keep up. So this is what online dating is all about. And it's really a lot of fun. And I'm not saying every online dating is a nightmare. My sister, for example, I mentioned that she met her husband online, and they are very happy, and it works. But for me, it didn't. But I got a great story out of it.
Story.
So if
are you using it? And this is a personal question, but are you still using any of them?
Nope.
No.
Once the story was written and I had my material,
so what's your Valentine's Day advice? How do you recommend if you're going to tell, let's say your daughter is now 18, whatever, and you say, well, don't do the electronic thing. Why don't you go to, what would you tell her?
Well, I would tell her church.
Go to church to find a guy?
Sure.
Yeah, well, at least you know they got the right religion.
Right, yeah. I would say go to church, and, if he's being raised in church, that doesn't mean that he's going to be a good kid. We know some church kids can be some of the worst.
But you know what I've learned from romantic comedies? It's a great place to learn from. That what women want, they want some guy who they actually don't like when they first meet him. All romantic comedies, that's right. They bump into some jerk in the bookstore, and he's just rude and everything, but something clicks, and then later on they fall in love.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah, well, and that's the movies, and that's what makes it funny. I don't know how that is in real life, but I've kind of just, at this point, left the online dating thing on the back burner. I mean, dating as a whole on the back burner, and am focused on more important things like being a mom and my job, and I think all the other things will fall into place. So, but it will not happen online because I have, me personally, given up.
We should do the dating game here. We should have, for Valentine's Day, we should get 3 men and 3 women.
You line up the eligible bachelors. I'll give you my criteria. You get them in here. And
your criteria?
I will supply that to you, and you get them in here, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Let's just get 3 guys.
Sure.
Why do I have to pass the test?
Well, I have some standards. Come on now. But I encourage everybody, please pick up a February issue of Ocala Magazine. We're the official city magazine of hits. This magazine is layered full of a variety of topics, and I promise you, you will find something in here that you enjoy. Like us on Facebook, please, and keep up with all of our goings-ons.
Sounds fun. Thank you, Kelli. That was a fun show.
Thanks so much.
All right, we'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The January jobs report coming in stronger than expected.
257,000 new non-farm payroll jobs. Analysts were looking for about 230,000. But the unemployment rate did tick up to 5.7% from 5.6% in December. But that was because more people came into the workforce. Economists consider that to be a good thing.
Fox Business Network's Peter Barnes. The administration trying to get a new war authorization against ISIS. Meanwhile, a prominent jihadi preacher is lashing out against the group for the burning death of a Jordanian pilot, saying it's not acceptable in any religion.